Looks like you guys are all fired up and ready to go. Let's see. Looks like everybody's pretty much here. We'll give it a few seconds. I've just recently put a poll on the YouTube side of if you think that we're going to have a government shutdown on, I guess it's Friday the 17th or something like that. Do me a favor, hit that vote if you can. Obviously, on the Clapper side, you guys cannot do that, but you could say yes or you could say no. Either way, it's really on you. So I'm going to try and fix this camera a little bit more. Goodness, I swear to God, it's just like, there we go. Okay. And if you're on the YouTube side, definitely get your butts in there and vote. I mean, it's not hard. I mean, it's bloop, bloop, you're done, you know? Okay. Let's go ahead and, like I said, we're still waiting for a few more people to show up here on the YouTube side. We've got one guy, looks like CL Coaching is hanging out on the Clapper side. Preston says that I'm present. Good for you. Nice. But we'll let, oh no, West Virginia Pappy is back. No. No, he's saying no to the government shutdown. All right, let's see here. Oh, and it looks like the YouTube poll is actually leaning that way too. We're still waiting for a few more people to pop in on the YouTube side as well as the Clapper side. Never kept was sharing. Gotcha, bro. All right, see here. Yeah, I know I could read between the lines. All right, guys, do me a favor on the YouTube side, like and subscribe. Hit that like button. It draws more people in here. It makes the algorithm, lets them know that we are here. If you could do that for me, that would be super duper. I'm going to keep the poll up and running for right now. And let's see. What do we got? Where are we at here? Oh, damn, I pushed a button and it just went wacko. All right, let's minimize that. There we go. Okay, so come on, man. Really? Swear to God, sometimes you just can't win. All right, what do we got? Damn it, the poll is blocking the first person who was first. I think it was Deborah. But anywho, so what do we got here? Brian Smith, good morning. Mad Max, Mud, good morning. Good lording all. That's funny. Catitude is here, good morning. What else? We got Preston, Hicktown Honey, Mad Max on Friday, Mad Max dang. Okay, so we're good there. And then on the Clapper side, West Virginia Pappy is first. And obviously, we've got a few more in here. Where we got CL Coaching. Good morning to you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get this fired up. And the trivia news for the morning is actually pretty simple this morning. SpaceX says it will launch its Starship later this week, pending regulatory approval. They have a launch date for the 17th. Oh, by the way, that's the day of the government shutdown. They're waiting on the Forestry Service of all organizations to screw things up. That's what they're waiting on. If you guys don't follow SpaceX and the Starship program, I recommend that you do. It is going to change our world. Your grandchildren will be in space. It's just that easy. It really is just that easy. All right, let's see. New York City Liberties Group has sued President Joe. We're not even going to read that crap. Colombia introduced a raising tax on junk food to curb disease. It will start 10%, increase to 20% by 2025. So basically, junk food. They're going to start taxing junk food. People just looking for money. The European Commission will propose the 12th package of Russian sanctions this week. How did the first 11 do? They didn't do squat to these guys. Let's see here. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a new code of conduct for itself. Yay, a code of conduct for itself. That's super duper. All right, you slackers, listen, get those thumbs up going over there on the YouTube side. I need your help, okay? There's 8 of you in here. I should have at least 8 of those things. Come on. Let's see. How about make healthy food cheaper? Absolutely. Oh, my God. Absolutely. It's so ridiculous that you can grow your own food. You can raise your own animals. And then in the end, you get this healthy food that actually costs less. They can do it at the industrial level, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly think that people would buy more healthier food more often if it was healthy and was less expensive, instead of trying to make food that lasts forever, which is a benefit to us. But you know what I mean. If there was food that lasts forever, that was good, people, or didn't last forever, but they would treat it more like a garden. You know what I'm saying? That's how consumers would work. But they're more interested in getting the money than anything else, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see. West Virginia donated the national Christmas tree this year. Yeah, hopefully they'll do some lighting on it. There's a lot of pushback on the whole Christmas thing right now. I don't understand why. It's so absolutely ridiculous. Yes, I understand that if you guys haven't figured it out at this point in your lives, it's Christ Mass, or the Mass of Christ. So what? It's also Santa Day, okay? Let's just enjoy the season. And that's not even here yet. We haven't even talked about Turkey Day. And I will be making a turkey and a ham this year. All right, let's see. Secret Service officers opened fire on 3 people who were trying to steal their vehicles in Washington, D.C., but they still got away. The Secret Service, they still got away. Oh, goodness. It's like this was initially seen as like a threat or an attack on one of the grandchildren of El Presidente. But, the reality is it was just some thugs who thought they were going to get their hands on a nice car, and it didn't work out well for them. That's all it really was. Let's see here. CL Coaching says we need to do that as neighbors grow and share. Sorry, moving on. Yeah, no worries, bro. Listen, I try to read as many comments as I can, and I think it's absolutely true. Let's see here. Okay, so that's enough of the dumb news that it's like, let's make this more important than it really is. It's not. Okay, so guys, and I have to, you know what, the damn New York Times. I hate you, New York Times. And I'm going to find a whole new link, but I'm not going to. Let's do this. Let's go recycle, Control A, Control C. No, it's gonna be a bitch. All right, Control copy. All right. I don't think I got it though. I don't think I got it. You know what? I'm just going to go to ground.news and ground.news, and we're going to get some data on the CPI. If you guys don't know what the CPI is, don't run away, because I'm going to break it down for you in very layman terms and tell you what it actually means, okay? To you as human beings, as individuals. Analysis of the CPI, inflation flat, thanks to cheaper gas. Guys, it's like they don't even want to try to actually use their brains. And this is coming off of Market Watch. Inflation flat in October thanks to cheaper gas. CPI shows U.S. prices not rising as fast. Okay, so today there was a release. I thought it was the jobs report. I apologize to my Patreons for telling them that. But so the consumer price index basically says it's an index that says whether people are buying things or they're not buying things. That is the simplest term. It's the simplest term. So when the number goes down, then people are not buying things because it's directly related to or connected to inflation. Inflation is high, then the index goes down. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes it actually works backwards, but this is not an economics channel. So I'm just trying to keep this as simple as possible. The bottom line is that the CPI numbers came down and they dropped from 3.7 to 3.2. Now, and the term they like to use is slowed. And the reason they do this, maybe it is, but my interwebs is clunky. I got you, Brad. But what this comes down to is when people aren't buying the things that damn it, how do I break this down so that it's really simple to understand? People are only buying the products that they need, not the products that they want. They're not buying jet skis and giant grills and motorbikes and parasails. They're not doing any of that. Okay. And what that does is that's driving down other factors that are causing, believe it or not, the gas prices to go lower. People, these articles, they want you to believe, and hopefully you're not. Hopefully you're using ground.news and doing your own research. But people are they're attributing, they're like, think it just happened. No, it didn't just happen, guys. Have you noticed the price of gas has been going down steady for at least, I'd say probably about 10 days now, about 10 days. I rolled out of town and gas was just over $3. And when I rolled back into town 4 days later, it's $2.99. And I could still get a good thing at the local Rofo for 10 cents off at $2.89. So gas is going down. West Virginia Pappy says, I've seen gas at the Sam's Club here for $2.98. Exactly. So the prices of gas are going down. Now, traditionally, we attribute that to not necessarily the market, but the way the oil is being traded globally. And that's what we're always like, the Saudis are trying to screw us. I mean, we're getting this all of the time, guys, okay? But that's not what it is, okay? There are a couple of different variables. we're not even going to talk about it, but I'm going to tell you that is not why the price of gas went down, okay? When people buy things, okay, those prices go down. If everybody, this is why the price of bread was like somewhere between 62 and 98 cents for the generic El Cheapo loaf of bread, like since Christ was a corporal, because people want it, people need it, people buy it. Okay, gasoline, people want it, people need it, people buy it. When the price goes up, people stop buying as much. They start paying attention to the levels of their little E/F meter inside their vehicles. They actually buy less gasoline. And you'll think, well, I fill up twice a week or whatever. It's like, no, you are actually paying attention to the meter and you're actually buying less gas. People are actually like, hey, just put 20 in it. That kind of thing. Okay. So, and you've had to have if you've caught yourself doing that in the last 6 months, no, in the last month, put a 1 in the chat. Type the letter 1 in the chat. If you just fill up regularly just because you just want to do it, or just because it's Monday and it's time to fill up, type a 2 in the chat. Let's see what actually is happening, right? Diesel's a different story, bro. I don't know why. I don't understand, because as I understand it, diesel is actually a byproduct of gasoline, okay? But the reality is that diesel is always needed because of the trucking industry. So they have a completely different pricing table that unfortunately we have to, if we have diesel vehicles, we have to ride on. We have to play in that little area of their little pricing industry. So demand went up. That's the only reason. No. What did I just say? If people are buying it, the price will go down. That means demand. People want to buy it. Okay, that's the only reason. Oh my God. Come on, man. Come on. All right, let's see here. I keep it full. It's a prep. But I think you guys are catching on. I'm seeing in the chats that wrong. Demand over the years is going up. All right, who is this? Mount Rustic. I don't recognize you, okay? But if you just came here to pick a fight, then you're going to find yourself someplace else. First, last, and only warning. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Okay, let's see. The reality is that the CPI it's a major issue. The markets. I've got a Bloomberg TV fired up over there on the wall, and it's Black Wolf, bro. What'd you have to change your name for? What'd you have to change your name for? What did you do wrong? What have you been up to since I've been gone? Nothing but trouble. I can feel it in my bones. But anyway, I'm looking at Bloomberg, and there are a lot of the different niche markets are freaking the hell out. So I don't normally use that as a standard because most people don't even pay attention to these people. But the fact is that people are paying a lot of attention to it within the markets, and unfortunately, it leads us to our next talking point or our next story. Now, if you guys don't know this, the way, God, how do I say this? We as Americans have been exporting our debt for years. We can export our inflation. It sounds weird. It sounds very, very weird. But we have the ability to do that. And one of the ways that we do that is that the Fed will sell bonds, okay? And then that will offset a lot of different things that are happening inside of the U.S. economy. Now, what has happened is that the Fed has been selling bonds, and what they'll do is they'll open what they call a lottery. And that lottery will be, the whole purpose of that lottery is to sell bonds. Now, when the bonds are sold internationally, what happens is that affects the U.S. economy in a very positive way. Okay, when the bonds are not sold, it affects the U.S. economy in a very negative way. Now, and the way that the way that our government will offset those bonds being either sold or not sold is through taxes. Now, what has happened in the last 10 days is that the bond market went. Why? It's pretty simple. Yesterday, we were talking about how the Chinese are getting all of their gold out of the United States, all their physical gold. I just joined up with the topic. What's up, Henry Rose? Good to see you, bro. Make sure that you subscribe. And our major debt buyers, there's lots of countries, but the major one is actually China. China has stopped buying our bonds. And we talked about this yesterday, where if they decided to say, hey, pay up, we want our cash value on the bonds that we bought from you, it would crash the U.S. economy. It would just destroy the U.S. economy almost overnight. But what has happened the last 10 days is that the Fed has been trying to sell these bonds, and none of the international players are showing up. They're not buying our bonds. So that means that something's got to give. They lowered the percentage on the bonds, or the return rate on the bonds 4 times in 4 days, until they finally got a few little countries to buy in on U.S. bonds. It's not good. It's not good, because if you don't know this, we operate on a fiat. It's not just a fiat currency, but our currency is debt-based. The petrodollar is debt-based. Everything is debt-based in the U.S. economy, which is why I tell people all the time, get the hell out of debt as fast as you can. You know, I've got a little bit that I'm trying to get out from underneath. We've got different people that when you see those guys that wear those free man patches on their hats, that means that they are zero debt. That's what that means, just FYI. So that is actually happening, and it's not good for any of our markets, because when you have our major bond buyers withdrawing from our markets, that's because they see that things are going to happen. They see the writing on the wall, and they don't want to lose all of their money. Or as Black Wolf or whatever, I can't freaking remember your new name, said it would crash our economy, and that could be their goal. Now, it's very easy, you know, if you get into, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but you know, basically, one of the rules of war in Sun Tzu is that to defeat your enemy while never facing them. What's up, Maverick? Good to see you, bro. And so this could be a play. I honestly think China is just trying to keep control of the United States. You know, they lost control under the former president, and now obviously we've got, the slacker in chief, stumbling around and can't figure out which direction he's supposed to walk, and China is just trying to keep us under control. I think they honestly think that they are controlling us, but I think that that's really it. They could destroy our economy simply by calling in all of their bonds, or cashing in all of their bonds. But I don't. I think that they're waiting for the. That's like one of the things that you would do when you knew that you were going to war with somebody. You don't do it before. You don't do it to cause a war. You do it once the war has been caused already. So I think that that's something that they would kind of hang out there. So let me go ahead and check out the chat real quick. I know that you guys have been putting some stuff in there. I want to respond to you before we move on. It looks like the majority of people actually they're the ones that are paying attention to what that E to F meter in their vehicle is doing. They're not doing what they normally do, and so people are buying what they need, and that is directly affecting the market. I'm going to go ahead and look at this poll real quick here. We talked about. I asked, do you think there will be a government shutdown? And it was 56-44 with 25 votes. That's a pretty good vote count. So just over 50% think that it will happen. So we're going to end that poll. That way it'll clear my screen. Thank you for participating. We'll do another one here shortly or something like that. Am I Rustic Woods? That is, where are we at here? Keep it full. It's a prep. Where are we at here? Let's see here. Company name. Deborah Pate. Sorry, Deborah. It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. Amazon will take our jobs. They were showing robots this morning, but Amazon still needs people. In the end, Amazon still needs people to buy their stuff. So there will always be them trying to get your money, and you got to give them a product, or they've got to give you a product so that you can give them money. So I don't think that their Amazon robots are not showing off to put you in chains or to fire you. Let's see. I like all fake meatball, all fake. I don't know what the hell that means. Cool code. AI will take our jobs for sure. AI is already taking your jobs, but I'm here to tell you there was some research that I was looking into yesterday on AI, and if you notice, there was this massive push by companies to tell you about how they were using AI for this, and I was using AI for that, and it really got everybody's attention, so they would buy into the product or they would invest in the company, and then now it's like pittered out. You're not hearing it very much anymore, and it's simply put, that has run its course already. Let's see here. David showed up. Good morning. Good morning. Living with no debt. I can't afford it. I don't need it. Maddie. Hey, from Australia. Hey, what's going on? What's up, mate? Grumpy Acres. Does the government ever truly shut down during these crises? Grumpy's been around as long as I have, and they truly shut down like nothing's happening. No, there's always going to be people in places doing essential work, but it's always this big scare that the government will shut down, that it's going to affect the economy, and it's always going to be bad for the people. I don't want the government to shut down. I hate the government, but I don't want them to shut down because there are genuine services that they provide. They're the people that we're paying to do things for us. Do we need government? That's a hard question. And the truth is we do need government, but what we need is extremely limited government, constitutional government, where it is all based on the minimum requirements. The mission creep for the U.S. government has gotten so huge over time. It's just like this goo that just absorbs everything and turns everything stupid. And that's what we have to move away from. If we could get these freaking politicians to stop playing these games where they've got to add all this crazy spending and that, guys, there are grants There are grants for every possible thing that you can think of. And you can apply for that grant and you can get that grant. And that's where somebody's tax dollars are going into your pocket to do that grant. You know what I'm saying? For the arts, just the craziest things. You can find grants and apply for them and you can get them. And all of that stuff needs to go away. It needs to go away because what happens is that money just goes in somebody's pocket and nothing gets accomplished with it. Absolutely nothing gets accomplished with. So it's right up there with the study. You remember the study from the Clinton time period when he was cracking down on government? And Clinton did some good things, by the way. He was very good. Yeah, I think he balanced the budget several times. But anyway, where they had the shrimp on the treadmill. It's just ridiculous. It is just absolutely ridiculous. All right, let me go to the chat here real quick. They used a robo-dog in LA to disarm a man with a gun. It was a standoff. That's okay. So robotics win, let's see here. Let's see. Grumpy says no, or I'm sorry. Bradley says no, Grumpy, just the people at the bottom just don't get paid. The big wigs still get their money. Yeah. I mean, I really am an advocate for not necessarily just small government, but for these people that are in the Congress, that the president, I mean, regardless of the amount of money that they make doing the lobbying, doing all the crazy stuff, you see all the time where, a guy went into office and he was worth like $100,000, and then 4 years later he's worth like $24 million. I mean, how does that happen legally? It's so mind-blowing. So to think that shutting off their paychecks would be enough to make them work, I honestly think it would be enough to make them work, because just the idea that people would have in their head that these people are working or not working and not getting paid would show that they don't care, and they can't have that. They've always got to have that presentation that they care about the little guy, otherwise they won't get elected. So I honestly do think that there needs to be a bill, it needs to be a law that says that if a government shutdown happens, that Congress immediately stops receiving all benefits. And when I say all, I mean their health care shut down. They have the best health care programs on the planet. All of their the benefits from their jobs, these car services, all their paid interns stop payment. Everything stops. And I think that'll be enough to get their attention. And will they do the right thing? Probably not, but there won't be any more government shutdowns, that's for sure. They'll probably just write a damn law that says that government shutdowns aren't a thing anymore. That's probably what they'll do. What do we got here? Somebody just gave me a Semper Fi. Who is that? Sheepdog Actual. What's going down, Broseph? Semper Gumby. Let's see here. We got some talk about bricks in the chat there, but we're going to go ahead and stick to this. Maybe we'll come back to that. Let's see here. Again, no notification. What the fuck, YouTube? Southern Tier Prepper. I don't know. Guys, do me a favor. If you could right now, check and make sure that you're subscribed. Check and make sure that I've heard that YouTube is at it again. There's actually a very prominent YouTuber who is under attack right now by YouTube for some of the videos that he's making that are saying absolutely nothing. They can't get him, and he's got enough money to have a lawyer. So that's when they won't actually start taking things down, but they'll definitely push the shadow ban button on these people. And that appears to be what's happening. You've got guys that make videos that 100,000 views inside of 24 hours. And then mysteriously they're in the 100s. And then people are being unsubscribed. You know what I'm saying? So do me a favor, take a couple seconds right now. I'm going to take a sip of coffee and check and see if you are subscribed for me, please, because I'm getting a lot of people that are telling me that they are not being notified. And this on on the YouTube side, the notification should have went out at like just before 9 a.m. that I was live. So Cat2 says, I'm subscribed, but no notification. Okay, so if you guys are subscribed and you're not getting notification, here's what you do. You unsubscribe, you wait 10 seconds, and then you resubscribe. That's how you break them. That's how you stop these people from doing this stupid stuff. I forgot to take my sip of coffee. All right, let's see here. Please let me know. Henry Rose, I'm sorry I didn't catch what you want me to let you know, my bro. Where we at here? That's been a big topic me and my friend are talking about. Are you talking about BRICS? We could talk about BRICS. We could talk about BRICS. You know, the current sit rep on BRICS is actually pretty simple. They're still in the process of making it all happen. It is official. It does work. But what you have to understand too, what BRICS really, really is. Okay, so traditionally, governments would pay each other, would move money around between one government to the other using something called the SWIFT system. Okay, and it is controlled by the United States, and it must be done in the U.S. dollar. So in order for Argentina to pay Venezuela using the SWIFT system, Argentina has to get its hand on U.S. dollars, which means it's got to change its currency into a U.S. dollar, okay, or have U.S. dollars. And then they can use the SWIFT system to digitally move that money over to the other country in U.S. dollars. Now, the U.S. benefits from this because they probably take their little piece of it or whatever it may be, but that's generally what it is. So early on, early 2000s, the Russians and the Chinese got together to try and make another system so that, what is the word that I'm looking for? What's the word when we say no, you can't sell oil anymore? Come on, guys, get it up in the chat there. Get it up in the chat. Let's see who's going to be the first one. We put them on Russia all the time. We put them on Iran. It starts with a C. It's at the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember what it is. Sanctions. There you go. That's right. It starts with a C. You lose. All right. Who won that? Henry. Good job, bro. Good job. But yeah, sanctions. And so when America would be pissed off at one of these two countries, they would limit their ability to use the SWIFT system, and they would call that a sanction. That's how they controlled their ability to move their money internationally. Okay. So Russia and China got together, said we need a few more guys to make this a real thing. So what do we got here? Who's the B in BRICS, guys? Come on in the chat. YouTube, you're slacking, man. You guys are slacking. What do we got? Brazil, Russia, India, China. Okay, so those were the first four. Now I want to say there's at least 20 of them and 20 countries, and they're looking at incorporating another 60 countries. They're looking at bringing it right now. If that all happens, it's like 66% of the world's money. Yeah, that's the world's economy, this global economy that we just had to be part of, right? South Africa, there you go. But anyway, with BRICS, all these countries are joining in because they don't want to be under U.S. sanctions anymore. They don't want to be, basically the nanny state is what's happening. They don't want anything to do with that. This camera needs to be moved just a hair. It's probably going to screw everything up. There we go. And so that was the purpose of the BRICS, and now they're calling them the BRICS nations because the countries are lining up to use the system. Now, here's the funny thing. You have to be voted in to use the system. So they could literally not allow the U.S. to join the BRICS system. And that's the real political issue with it. BRICS will eventually destroy the petrodollar, will destroy the U.S. dollar internationally. Will we allow it to happen? Economists say, don't worry about it. The US dollar is strong. We all know that's bullshit. I think right now our dollar's worth like 62 cents, if we're lucky. And what we have to do is we have to kind of prepare for that to happen. But it's like, how do you do that? Do you buy gold? Do you buy silver? Do you keep cash on hand? How is that going to affect us? And the truth is that it's a very slow process in which we'll almost never feel the change from the SWIFT to the BRICS system. Now, will it hurt our economy? Yeah, it will. It will hurt our economy because eventually, well, basically, it's like not allowing us to use the funnel to move money around, and only our allies and only the people that want to use our system will be helping to keep our nation strong financially. But the BRICS is a very serious problem. Gold and silver as barter items, absolutely. I don't know that that's necessarily a barter item, and the reason is because you can't eat the gold, you can't eat the silver, but you could, and if you're bartering for it, you know what I'm saying? If you're taking gold for food, what are you going to eat? Are you going to go buy food? No, you're not, because someone already bought the food from you. Now you're going to go look for food. But gold and silver is a hedge against future problems. When, let's say, everything goes to hell in a handbasket, when it's done, gold and silver will be extremely high in value and you'll be able to rebuild. That's really what gold and silver is for. Let's see here. Gumbit should present, but I can't read that. But minimal. I don't know what that is. Titimio. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, dude. Let's see here. Luna Liquor says our government should be building our industrial base, not destroying them. Production is independent, not consumption. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Let's see. No, I'm saying gold, silver, and barter. Oh, okay. I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, definitely. It was funny too because I was at a party the other night that was it's basically an annual party. It's somebody that I know. They've got some money and they have this party every year, which is basically free bar everything. And it didn't dawn on me in the very beginning of the party, but they had like this bucket full of whiskey in those little bottles, and at the end of the party, I was like, "Oh, I need to get me a handful of those, and you keep those for barter items." And they were all gone. I totally missed out on the opportunity, but that's that prepper thinking, Sometimes it's there, and sometimes it's not. But let's see here. Timentio just redacted his message. Maybe he's retyping it. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next subject, guys. But everything is connected in our financial system. So I try not to go into too much detail because I'm probably like a level 2 out of level 25 player in the economic forum. But I understand what they're saying, and I'm trying to relay it to you in terms that anybody can understand. So, because this will be a video that's going to last on YouTube forever unless they take it down. God knows. But it is what it is. All right, so if you guys hadn't heard, last Friday there was a major problem. Okay, there was a major problem, and U.S. banks were hit by deposit delays. Now, what does this mean? Multiple U.S. banks were hit by deposit delays on Friday, caused by an error at a payment processing network, according to the Federal Reserve. Now, that's the tagline. Okay? But what they don't tell anybody is that this payment processor, like it could have been Intuit, it could have been any other payment company that actually, these companies that basically, hey, we can take care of your payroll for you, this major one sent all of the information just like they're supposed to the banks, but they X'd out all of the account information so that no transactions could actually take place. No one knows why this happened. They say it was a glitch in the system. Let's see here. Bank of America alerted customers that their deposits may be delayed due to a problem impacting multiple banks. So it's not multiple banks, it's actually the middleman. The Chase spokesman confirmed with CNN that some of its customers' direct deposits haven't been updated. So this was actually a payment service, very huge international payment service, and it sent information that was not usable to these banks. Now, why it happened, they're not saying. No one is saying, okay? Somebody needed money for a few days. I know, right, Pappy? Where's your envelope, dude? Where's your bed money? That's what I call it. Where's your bed money? Where's your gunny? Where's your money protected by Glock? That's what we want to know. But anyway, it is pretty interesting. You know, customers from the Bank of America, or Bank of America, Chase, U.S. Bank, Truist, and Wells Fargo complained of issues Friday morning, according to Down Detector. Some users on X, formerly known as Twitter, it was the first yawn of the morning, complained that they didn't get paid on Friday. And this is what happens when we live paycheck to paycheck, guys. It's a real problem. And listen, I understand, man. Not everybody has a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. I kind of live paycheck to paycheck, but maybe I don't eat breakfast, and maybe I save that money to put aside in case something like this happens. You know, there's a lot of different variables. Do me a favor, guys, on the YouTube side, could you do me a favor and type the letter A? Okay, and the reason I want you to do that is because I think we just got shadow banned on YouTube, and the chat has gone poof, like nothing since Tomatio redacted his message. Nothing is coming through, and we've got to wake up that algorithm. We've got to wake that up. Otherwise, it's just I got Tefel. Thank you, Tefel. Appreciate it. But everybody, I need everybody to do it. That way we can turn this thing back on. And good. All right, yeah, that'll work. All right, this is good. But if you haven't done it, just go ahead and do it for me, guys. I appreciate it. And then when you're done, let your thumb rest for a second. I truly appreciate it. I don't want to post an A. Of course you don't, you grumpy old bastard. Vote for Pedro. Yes, chat stop. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So thank you all for that did that. I appreciate it. I was just noticing. I was just like rambling. I was like, man, nothing has happened in this chat in like 10 minutes, and there's something wrong with that. Okay, so the reality is that third party, that middleman, something went wrong. Now there is talk that was a cyber attack. Okay, and no one's answering. No one's actually saying, hey, because the company's not going to come out and say, oh, by the way, we do this right every single Friday, but this Friday, we kind of screwed up. What does it really matter? So I'm not buying that. I'm not going to buy that for a second. I was waiting for a hot topic. Okay, but there's been a lot of cyber warfare going on out there that a lot of people are not talking about because no company actually wants to go out and say, by the way, we just got all messed up. Company stocks go down when their investors find out that they've just got hit by a cyber attack. Now, that is leading me to the next actual subject. So if you don't know what ICBC is a ginormous Chinese bank. Okay. And the ICBC got hacked this weekend. It's really bad for them. Okay. And the reason it's really bad for them is because they have an American branch, which is the only branch that got hacked. Not the one in China. It's a Chinese company, okay? But the one in America got hacked. So they're actually, ICBC flies top executives to the U.S. in a race to contain hack fallout. Now, why is this happening? Let's see. Within days of a cyber attack at its U.S. unit, members of the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, or ICDC, management were on a plane. Officials from the world's largest lender arrived in the U.S. over the weekend in a hastily arranged trip to limit fallout from the incident last week. People who acknowledged the situation said, as they sought to claim markets through a steady stream of discussions and calls, one question remained unanswered. When will the stricken system start functioning again? So basically, they got hit by ransomware. And I can't remember the actual name of the type of ransomware it is, but it's basically locks out all their systems until the ransom is paid. This is a serious problem, and this is a serious problem not because you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, it's China, who cares? Let them pay. Yeah, who cares? Which country would benefit? You know what? Here we go. This is perfect. This is perfect, guys. I want you to type in the chat on whichever platform you're on, which country would best benefit from a cyber attack on a Chinese bank in America. Start typing. Let's see if anybody actually is seeing what's happening here in the cyber warfare realm. West Virginia Pappy just typed China. China would attack its own bank? That's false flag. That's a false flag, bro. That's interesting. Let's see here. I think Micronesia would get hit by the cyber attacks. Okay. Someone else typed China. Okay. Universal basic income is already happening. That's true too. That's true. But India. So India, that's a good one. That's a good one. Come on, let's go. Come on. Don't be slackers. Use your brain housing groups. There's one country that would actually benefit from a cyber attack or a ransomware attack on a Chinese bank in America. Someone typed Japan. Japan? Proclaim grace. I don't recognize you. Thank you for being here. Make sure you guys hit up Taiwan. That would be like, okay, you want to mess with us? We're just a little island, but we got some pretty cool little hacker kids, and we're gonna mess you up. We're gonna mess you up. Okay, so I'm gonna make this easy for you guys because they're the things that we never think about. Could it be Switzerland? No. Come on, we all know it was the place with the cranes in it, the cartels in Mexico. It's always amazing what people will, somebody typed Russia. Okay, guys, so let me break it down for you. What's up, Beecher? I haven't seen you in a while, man. No way, New Mexico. Okay, now we're just playing games. All right, so here's the idea. The country that would benefit the most from a cyber attack on a Chinese bank who has a branch in the United States is the United States. Wow. How come we never thought of that? Cyber warfare is very real, guys. It's very, very, very real. And how would a country best stop or hurt a country that is trying to hurt it? Yeah. If you guys didn't know this, basically China has a, I don't like to say, I don't want to say an army of hackers, but they have a large military group that is specifically set up to do nothing but cyber warfare. We do the same thing. We are in a constant cyber war with the entire planet. Every country is. It's not just, most people think about cyber warfare as someone trying to make a buck, someone trying to get a company to do something, someone who's trying to steal information to sell on the dark web. That's what we think about when we think about cyber warfare and cyber crimes. But we don't really lock into the fact that we're using our technology to control what's happening to another country or to stop what is happening to our country by that country. So yes, the country that would benefit the most from a cyber attack on a Chinese bank. Remember we talked at the very beginning of the stream how the Chinese are withdrawing all of their gold. You remember that? So and China has a plan to be the economic powerhouse of the world by 2025. So these are things that we have to think about. So it was more than likely us. It was more than likely us. But we're never going to know. That's the magic of the whole thing. We're never going to know. Okay, so let's see here. I want to say that that's all I really have to talk about during this live stream. So if you guys want to talk about something else, please put it in the chat. I'll sip a little bit of coffee, and we can go from there. As usual, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do now. Whatever you do over there I saw some little ghosty things over on the Clapper side. If you could do that again, or whatever you do over there, I really wish I knew more about the Clapper, but people like it, so I turned it on. Oh, let's see, the coffee. The coffee is good. The rumor, Proclaim Grace wants to talk about the rumor of TikTok shutting down in 2024. Is it true? I have not personally heard that rumor. What I can tell you is that based off of, if you remember, our government went after TikTok and tried to kick them out of the United States, and that didn't happen. So from the American perspective, it's likely not going to go anywhere because it would need to be governed by law, and our lawmakers are not willing to get rid of it. From the Chinese perspective, this is a weapon. They're using it. It is reasonably effective. Now, the only way TikTok will ever disappear is if people stop using it. That's it. I have a TikTok account. I have 250 plus thousand followers on TikTok, and I rarely make a TikTok video. I will pop on there from time to time if I do need to get the word out to a larger mass about something specific. But for the most part, I don't even like use it. So the only way TikTok goes away is if people stop using it, and that just means that people will move or slide over to the next thing that is TikTok. In the same way that TikTok people have slid over to Clapper. Clapper was this great thing that people could, Clapper, let's face it, Clapper, you are just TikTok where you can say whatever you want to say. That's it. I would be interested in knowing who owns Clapper. I would be interested in knowing where the money for Clapper comes from. You think this free service that you're on right now is it paid by anything? I would be interested in knowing that. And my bet is that it would be linked back to some Chinese company, and you'd find out that all you really did was move from TikTok to Clapper, where they don't stop you from saying the things that you want to say. So, Grumpy Acre says, hey, as soon as grandma starts using TikTok, the young guns will migrate away from it. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Where are we at here? I know Clapper like TikTok, but man, I don't know why it funner. I honestly don't like what I see on Clapper. I really don't. I don't like what I see on Clapper because it is every time I watch a video on Clapper that's not prepper related, I think of that movie, Idiocracy. That's what I think of, because the videos are absolutely awful. They have no, and I'm not just talking about like learning things. I'm talking about entertainment wise. It's just awful. It's a Texas-owned company. Hey, I got you, sheepdog, but you know what? Go live in Austin. Tell me if you love Texas. It's like a video. Like it's just like, okay, so this is what I see. This is what I see on Clapper. Okay, I see some girl going, and then they throw some crappy music on top of it, and they throw some words at a slant. That it's something to the effect of, what it looks like when I'm thinking about doing something stupid. That's what all the damn videos are. It's absolutely awful, you know. I don't spend any time on Clapper. I spend time on Clapper because you guys told me that you wanted me to do some Clapper stuff. That's it. That's the only reason I came back. So get up off the diamonds. Somebody told me I can get rich on Clapper. YouTuber, should I monetize my YouTube channel? I've been able to monetize my YouTube channel for 2 years now, and have just completely ignored it. So let me know. Let's see. Let's see. Grumpy Acre says, "Brr, there's a chilling though, stretched out, faded unicorn and butterfly tattoos as grandma gyrates to the list." Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna swipe as quickly as possible off that one, Grumpy. You know. Let's see here. Clapper's founder is Edison Chen, Canadian born. You see what I'm saying? It just eventually gets diluted. It just eventually gets completely diluted, you know? Sooner or later, somebody's going to give somebody a buttload of money, and it's just TikTok 2.0, guys. It's just, you can say things over here. So there's a benefit. But once that stops, it's over with. And I'm telling you right now that Clapper has already destroyed its base, okay? It's already destroyed its base, and I'll tell you why. Because with the Clapper algorithm, it favors new Clapper accounts, okay? When I started my Clapper account, I had like 2,000 followers in like a week. And then I stopped using Clapper. And the algorithm said, oh, he's not a new user anymore. So they weren't showing my videos to anybody. It's that easy. It's that easy. Now I make a video every so often. I get a few hits here and there. That's about it. But the algorithm is completely only for new users. So it is what it is. Okay, what do we got here? You guys never answer me. I guess you don't want me to monetize YouTube. Maybe I'll do it anyway, just because no one's buying my Amazon stuff, bastards. Let's see. That's why I would like to see Citizen Social take off. You know, I don't. I tried. Is Citizen Social is that the one that Trump set up? Let me know. I honestly can't remember. There was something about it, but YouTube Shorts been doing better lately. Yeah, I mean it's hit or miss. It really is hit or miss whether you're getting a video or not. I like real content. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make a 1-minute video on how to start a fire. Like, good job, yeah. You know, it's ridiculous. Jester and Jake, I don't know what that is. Jester and Jake. You know, that Citizen Social really does ring a bell, and I think I actually had an account with them, but it just like didn't do anything. It just didn't do anything. So, you know, I've got a time. We don't get our time back, guys. If you guys didn't know this, we don't get our time back. Get it where you can, how you can before it goes to hell. I got you. Okay, guys, I'm starting to ramble on right now. Listen, if you want to support the channel, do me a favor. There are links someplace, okay? I think on the Clapper side, it's products that I support. I'm not even sure. It might send you to my webpage, localprepper.net. I don't know. On the YouTube side, there's lots of links below, different ways to support the channel. If you just want to throw me some coffee money, you can buy me a coffee. You can go to my Amazon store. You can buy more. I mean, it's all there. It's all there, guys. It's all about where you want to spend your money. So check that out. Also, if you want to become a Patreon, now is the time. A lot of people are signing up for the trial, and they're sticking around because it's the real deal. This morning, somebody an actual Patreon asked me to do something specific, and you know what? I did it, because if you're going to give me $3 a month for whatever, then I'm going to do my best to make sure you get your $3 worth of whatever. All right, guys. As usual, like, subscribe. And if we're done. I'm out of words. Please stay safe. Have a great day. And I shall see you later. Okay.